According to the old Elton John song, sorry seems to be the hardest word. Although recently, sorry seems to be pretty much the easiest word. If you've been following the news recently, you'll know that there's been a big apology from the two main creators of Star Trek Into Darkness. What happened was when the film came out, people liked it, took a whole bunch of money, but there's one shot in it in which Alice Eve is seen completely gratuitously in her underwear. The scene's very contrived. She says to Kirk, you know, don't look, I'm going to change, and he turns away, and then he sneaks a glance, and suddenly we get this great big IMAX shot of Alice Eve in her underwear. And loads of people said, what on earth is that about? It's completely gratuitous. It has no reason to be in the film. Actually, it's kind of offensive. What do they think they're doing? Well, pretty soon after the storm blew up, Damon Lindelof, the writer, took to Twitter to say, look, I hear what you're saying, and, you know, as the writer, I put my hands up and say, I do take this kind of thing seriously. You know, I do understand charges of misogyny, and sorry if you think we misjudged that. Very shortly after that, J.J. Abrams was on the Conan O'Brien show. And again, the same point was put to him, and he said, okay, look, I think I cut the scene wrong. But, you know, to redress the balance, here is an outtake of Benedict Cumberbatch in the shower, kind of redress the balance. It was quite nice, actually, the fact that both of them said, okay, we've listened to what you've said, you know, it was a mistake, we got it wrong, what can you do? You look back over the history of filmmakers apologising for movies, and in fact, despite the fact that most filmmakers are generally sort of, you know, fighting for their films, they do apologise. I mean, there was a classic case some time ago when Vincent Gallo's Brown Bunny played at the Cannes Film Festival. The film was unbelievably bad, and later on, Vincent Gallo apologised for it. Actually, it was so bad that Roger Ebert, the late great Roger Ebert, said in his review that he once had a colonoscopy, and they allowed him to watch it on the, you know, the television screen, and it was better than watching Brown Bunny. There's a case here at the BBC. The BBC were going to show Sam Raimi's film Crime Wave, and a friend of mine at the BBC rang up Sam Raimi and said, you know, I'd just like to ask you a couple of questions about Crime Wave. And Sam Raimi said, well, can I just say sorry? Actually, no need to. I think Crime Wave is a perfectly decent film. Recently, there's been a case which you probably read about. Big headline, Michael Bay apologises for Armageddon. Actually, it turns out Michael Bay has since retracted that. He said, no, hold on. I was interviewed by somebody, and I was talking frankly about the fact that we didn't have enough time to edit the third act properly. I don't apologise for Armageddon. He did, however, apologise for Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, as indeed did Shia LaBeouf. Michael Bay used the word crap in relation to that film, and Shia LaBeouf said that he thought that they generally let people down and that they hadn't managed to kind of really nail the film as far as the narrative is concerned. Really? You think? And then a couple of years ago at the Savannah Film Festival, Ronald Meyer, very, very high up in Universal, suddenly had this kind of fit of honesty in which he said, you know, we make a bunch of movies that aren't any good at all, and I want to apologise for them. He said, for example, that Land of the Lost was crap, that Wolfman stunk, that Cowboys and Aliens really needed to be better. Stuff that we all knew, but it was really, really good to hear. And it started me thinking, if you could ask for one apology from one filmmaker for one thing they did, what would it be? Some time ago, I managed to get an apology from John Waters for what I still consider to be the unforgivable chicken scene in Pink Flamingos. We were having a kind of heated discussion about it, you know, friendly but heated. And he said everyone that complains about that scene, you know, the next day they go straight out and they eat a chicken burger. And I said, well, I don't, I'm a vegetarian. He said, okay, but it's not like you keep pet chickens. I said, well, actually I do. He went, okay, fine. To you, personally, I apologise. Everyone else can kiss my ass. So there it is, my question to you. If you could get an apology from one filmmaker about one thing, for you, personally, what would it be? See, looking back over this history of apologies, it seems that sorry isn't the hardest word at all. The hardest word is flocky, knocky, nihipilification. Look it up.